Hi, I'm Colin Stagnito, Senior Vice President for Media and Marketing at AOPA. It's been a busy year in general aviation. We're going to take a look back at the year with President and CEO of AOPA, Mark Baker.
AOPA keeps flying safe, accessible, and fun by protecting your freedom to fly. We are the most trusted one-stop resource for all things related to general aviation. Become an AOPA pilot today.
It's been quite a year for general aviation and for AOPA. What are your impressions of the year from AOPA's perspective?
Well, 2023 was a big year for AOPA, and we had some things that we'll talk about that were a little sad and unfortunate to a number of individuals around AOPA. But as I reflect on general aviation and AOPA's successes in 2023, it's a pretty extraordinary year all the way around, and most importantly, a really safe year for general aviation.
So, as you say, we've had a lot of highs, but let's start with this. There have also been some sad times for AOPA this year.
Yeah, AOPA lost 3 family members. Most of you are probably aware that we lost Richard McSpadden in an accident in October. And he was a terrific guy to work with, as you well know, and a good friend, and as well did a great job communicating all the things in aviation. But we also lost Bill Dunn, who'd been an advocate for their airports division and really kept airports alive. I mean, he was a secret mission guy.
Yeah.
That went in and educated, city towns and townships and counties about how important these airports were. We lost him a week ago, as well as Adam Meredith, who has financed a lot of our members' airplanes, and he passed last week as well. So it's been a challenging year for AOPA from personnel and some really, really, really good people. They'll be missed, and their families, we give them the best regards. But they made a difference in aviation, and I know all 3 of them would want us to go forward and talk about the good things in aviation.
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely a tough year. Richard and Bill and Adam were good friends and colleagues, and everything that they worked for will carry on to protect our members' freedom to fly. But I think we can't talk about Richard without sort of acknowledging what he achieved for ASI, he and his team achieved in 2023.
Well, first off, he and his team have done a great job of getting following, and that we know in no small part that the reason why we've had the 2 safest years of aviation's history ever on rate-based and actual numbers is because of the inputs and the interest that people have in learning about how to be a safer pilot. And that team will continue to do that. And I'm really proud of those results, to see the engagement that we've had at AOPA with our safety messages.
So I understand we're also changing some names of some of our awards and reports.
That's correct. The Knoll Report's been out forever, and we're changing it to the Richard McSpadden Report. Richard started the safety award for the industry. We're going to call that the Richard McSpadden Safety Report. And as well, as many of you know and have donated, we have a endowment for a scholarship in Richard's name as well here at AOPA under the foundation. So there's been an outpouring of support and recognition of a man that made a real difference in safety.
Yeah, quite the honor, but well deserved. So can you tell us a little bit more about some other AOPA initiatives from the past year?
Well, it's been a big year. The biggest thing that we've done from the government affairs side of this thing is working on the general aviation bill. It's the only time that there's ever been one, led by Sam Graves, but a bipartisan support to get it passed through the House this summer. It has things in there like an expansion of basic med up to 12,500 pounds.
That's a big difference.
Passed through the House.
Yeah.
Working through the aeromedical issues that are just really frustrating, whether they be mental health issues or just taking too long for special issuance. Some money for hangars, and just making sure there's a robust support for general aviation all the way around. It really feels really good that we're going to have a big difference this year. Now we just got to get the Senate to pass it, because I know the FAA administrator, which I'm really happy to also have been involved in getting a new administrator and a leader for the FAA group. And Mike Whitaker is a good friend of AOPA and a member.
Any want to hazard a guess on when that might be passed?
Certainly before March, is my expectation. There's some typical political issues going back and forth, but I believe that everyone knows we need to get this bill passed and move on with the reauthorization so the FAA can get going on their agenda.
We've had some initiatives with unleaded fuel this year.
We sure have. Unleaded fuel continues to be one of the biggest opportunities we have to be a better citizen, a better neighbor for our airports. And one of the things I believed in, and been the Eagle co-chair for a couple of years now, and moved on out of that position. But this whole group is coming together with, whether it's the fuelers, the refiners, the distributors, the engine manufacturers, all the associations, to try and find a pathway to accelerate no later than 2030 an alternative to a low lead to a no lead fuel. But it's important to do this smart and create this transition. we would also make sure that low lead fuel is available, so there's a safe transition, which is also in the bill.
Right.
One of the things I'm really proud of is we had 2 donors that stepped up and put a Baron together for us to operate it and use it, and use the left engine with no lead fuel, which is the only one that's approved at the moment, is GAMI, and the airplane is out in Oklahoma, and I flew it a couple months ago. It's got, I think, almost 70 hours on it now, which is pretty exciting to see the left engine running on this new fuel and the right engine running on regular low lead, and doing the comparisons, because we want people to build confidence around there is going to be a fuel.
Right, and then we have Mike Bush with Savvy Aviation, who people know from AOPA Pilot Magazine. He has a column. He's going to be analyzing that data and telling us if he sees anything that doesn't look right.
That's right, looking for the oil changes and all the things you'd look for in an airplane. But it's exciting to see, and we hope that there will be other fuels that we can see. If that were to happen, we'd start burning those other fuels as part of this demonstration as well, to show there is going to be a path forward with a no-lead fuel.
Now, we saw some crazy parking fees in Las Vegas around the Formula One race. Just mind-blowing. Can you talk to us a little bit about what happened there?
Well, I wouldn't call it a victory, but I would call it making a difference. They came out with an announcement for a piston airplane, $3,000 landing fee on top of all your other fees. Jets started at $3,500, depending on the size, went over to $10,000 for the Formula One race at the 5 public airports in Las Vegas. Yeah. Totally unacceptable. We got the FAA involved and got a hold of the people running at Clark County and said, this is unacceptable. How can you do this? What is the justification? What makes a special event fee? Who gets to set it? And they retracted for the piston side back to $750. Still not the right answer, but without AOPA, I'm sure that would have gone on. So we have a big job to do to protect it. We got a long way to go to make sure we have reasonable and fair access to public ports. It's one of the things I feel pretty strongly about.
Fantastic. So for us to be able to advocate for pilots, we need a robust pilot population. Can you talk a little bit about what we've been working on toward that end?
Well, a lot of things, because in the pilot's cycle there, we'll talk about the high school program last, but I was always really concerned that we don't have enough designated examiners as well. We got down to about 700 designated examiners, and some of them weren't even doing a check ride, even once a month. And we made a lot of noise at the FAA to say, we got to get back over 1,000 DPEs, and I think we're at just under 1,000 right now, just on about 970 DPEs, because we want check rides to be available. We want to be right after you're ready to go from your training and get that going. So we've got a ways to go, but we made a big difference there. So on to the what I consider to be one of the coolest things that AOPA has done with donors, outside of the dues, is we've raised millions of dollars to go create a high school education program. And it's now serving over 900 high schools in 47 states. And this fall, we have over 23,000 young people taking this aviation curriculum.
And that's after how many years?
We started this 6 years ago.
Just 6 years ago.
Yeah, it's really exciting. And these young people, over 60% of them have said, I'm going to go into some kind of aviation. We need technicians, we need pilots, we need controllers. Just hundreds of thousands of jobs in aviation are going to occur in the next dozen years. We want to be part of creating this interest for young people and successful pathways for them to either take their ground school in high school or 107 drone license in high school or go on and become an engineer. We want to be part of their career. And to see that kind of interest, if we talked about 10 years ago, we weren't sure young people were interested in aviation. I guarantee they are.
Yeah, I wish I could have had that opportunity in high school, that's for sure. So 2024 is almost upon us. What are you looking forward to for next year?
Well, 2024 I always look forward to, we got this winter time and most of us lay off flying a little bit, unless you're in Florida, Arizona, or California, Texas. But I look forward to the spring when, people get out. We're going to be going to Buckeye as our very first event.
That's right.
In February in Arizona. That's how I kind of think of kicking off the season. Then shortly thereafter, it's Sun and Fun, and then we move into our flyover in DC, which I'm really excited about. You might know. It's a capstone moment for AOPA to be recognized, to have that kind of support from the government to say, let's celebrate GA. And then we'll go on to Oshkosh and celebrate there. We've got Triple Tree, and it's going to be an exciting year. We've got to do it safely, but we got a lot of things to get done at 24.
Yeah, so with that GA flyover, we're going to have Tom Haynes and Miles O'Brien, who are going to be on a rooftop announcing the flyby, so cool. That'll be exciting. Okay, so one more topic. We've been working for 18 months on this airplane here behind us. What do you think about the 170?
Well, the 170, as you know, I'm biased like you are to tail dragger Cessna airplanes. They're really good airplanes. And this was an interesting airplane, developed in the 50s, well, developed in the late 40s. And today, to see the excitement around 170s, it's really cool, because they're really a good airplane.
Yeah.
But you made it great. You and your team put this thing together over the last 18 months, and you know, whoever gets to win this airplane, and we get to deliver this in a couple months,
Yeah.
is really going to have a special toy on their hands. It can go anywhere, do anything, and be really cool when you show up with that airplane. So
Yeah.
I think it's one of those times that, you know, happens every year or two. We give an airplane away. I have a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, and people think that we're going to be sad to see it go, and you know, we love it, we will miss it, but the reality is we do this for members. We do this for a lucky pilot to win this airplane. The sweepstakes period ends December 29th, and so it's not too late to enter. If you're a member, you're already entered, but if you're not a member, not too late to become a member to enter. You can also get some extra entries by becoming an automatic renewal or lifetime member, or by donating to AOPA. So we'll, on December 29th, the sweeps ends, and then there's a drawing by an outside independent company, and we'll know who wins the airplane in the second half of January. So we'll be surprising some lucky pilot at their home airport. Can't wait for it.
I can't wait. It'll be really fun to see people's eyes when they get the keys of this airplane or any other airplane. We give it away. It's really a special day.
Do you have any closing thoughts?
Well, really, I wish everybody and all the members that have supported AOPI a happy holiday and a great new year, doing it safely from all of us here at AOPI. Thank you.